gonna bring it back out, man. They playing with the fees, so bear with us. It's part 2 of the camp. All right, so we go ahead and get back into the spirit here. All right, so before we get started, we'll give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Makakadash. A double honors to the apostles and elders. Great millstone who told us the truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, so tap back in, man. Bring it out. All right, spirit of prophecy, man. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Yes, sir.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision.
Yeah, start with, hey, and let us know if the feeds start messing up. Throw it in the comment below.
Yeah, man.
Shot.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, and he may run that readeth.
Yeah, so as we brought out earlier, that word run goes into to explain without difficulty, man. All right, being able to have the understanding without being, trapped up. That's the point of the scriptures being made plain via the Spirit. You know.
That's why Revelation 1 and 3 tells you blessed be that reader.
That's right.
That word reader means to understand or know accurately. And we go bring these scriptures out so that the elect may be edified.
That's right.
Verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Yeah, so the vision, the prophecies are speaking. At the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, again, this end time technology, man. All right, the left hand, Esau, Jacob's trouble. All right, the return of the Lord, nuclear destruction. All right, did a lesson going into how, how these devils are trying to, bring forth peace, but it's all smokescreen, man. And you can't, you can't fight against prophecy, man. Who could resist the will of the Lord? All right. So at the end of the day, all these things have to happen before we enter into that transition of the kingdom, man. Right? Yep.
So Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 24. The Lord of hosts has sworn, saying, surely as I have thought, so shall it come to pass. And as I have purposed, so shall it stand.
Right. So the purpose of Yahweh Shai is going to stand. That's the message that we're providing unto our people, is that this report that we're providing through the Holy Spirit is going to take place. Right? Though it tarry, wait for it. It's going to happen. And we're seeing it gradually lead up to these things. That's why, as the elder had made mention at the start of the sermon, it's to the point where Jake is just at they're pretty much locked in. Right? They can't avoid the word of prophecy. They have to make pretty much a avid decision to try and get away from the prophecies that's being delineated. You see? Because ultimately the purpose of the Lord is coming to pass. We're seeing everything point toward World War III, Civil War, martial law, the chip, right? All of these things are taking place, and it's to the point where Jake has nothing to say, right?
Verse 25. That I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders.
Right, and the modern day Assyrian, right, is akin to America, right? Babylon the Great, right? So the Lord has a purpose to destroy America, right? That's why we see the direction in which society is going. It's pointing toward the end of this system, right? You read it?
This is the purpose that is proposed upon the whole earth, and this is the hand that is stretched out upon all nations. For the Lord of hosts hath proposed it, and who shall disannul it?
Right. Who shall disannul the purpose of the Most High? Right? You read it?
And his hand is stretched out, and who shall turn it back?
How are you going to turn back the plans of Yahweh Shai? Okay? There's no way that you can actually do that. So the sensible thing that Jake should do is just get with the program.
Submit.
Right? Submit to the Lord. Stop being stiff-necked. Stop trying to come up your own way. Right? And enter in at the straight gate. Because that's the only way that Jacob's actually going to be able to exist in these times and seasons, is through understanding that the purpose of Yahweh Bashar Shai is going to be accomplished. You see, and I'm submitted to that. You see? You get Isaiah 30:26.
Submit to be destroyed. You know, the Lord said, did he say that? Those that don't want me to reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me, man.
13:3, man. Repent or perish.
That's it.
You're either going to get down with the Lord or you're going to lay down,
That's
man.
it, man.
It's Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
Right, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. We're coming into times where all aspects of stability is being uprooted. Could you grab Luke 21 and 25 on the show? All aspects of stability is being uprooted, primarily, especially within the lives of you tribes, man. You so-called blacks, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. So wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures, the truth, is what's going to be the anchor in these times to come. No other strength is going to be found in that day, right? Because the scriptures speak about in Isaiah 30 that your trust in Egypt will be in shame and confusion, right?
Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Right? The fear of Yahweh Bashar Shai is our treasure, man. Right? Being in full reliance of Yahweh Bashar Shai and reverencing and respecting his ways. The Lord tell you go right, go right. Don't fight against the course of the river and try and come up another way, because you're going to doom yourself, man. Right? As the elder had quoted earlier in the book of Proverbs, right? Matter of fact, I'll grab that right quick. Proverbs chapter 22 and 3. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3, it says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Right? And where are you going to be hidden? Right? Under the covering of the Lord. Right? Under this truth. Right? This banner. It says, but the simple pass on and are punished. And that's what we see happen on a day-to-day basis. Right? Our people that turn the shoulder, right? That pretty much plug up their ears to try and avoid hearing the word of the Lord, and not understanding that this is supposed to be that sweet savor as we read in 2 Corinthians. Right? But to you it's a stench. Right? To you it's a burden. Not understanding that this word, this truth is supposed to help. It's supposed to change your life for the better.
Psalm chapter 1 and starting verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
And the scriptures also speak about in the book of Exodus to not follow a multitude to do evil. Right? And that's the exact pathway that this world is going. Right? And we're trying to pull our people up out of that direction, right? And come under the straight, not the broad. Right? You read it?
But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Right? And that being planted, right, goes back to having that stability, man. Right? Being by this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, being those rivers of living water, man. Right? So now we're being nourished, right, so that we can bring forth that right fruit, man. Right? It says, but the ungodly are not so. They are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. So this is what we're seeing, is that lack of stability coming upon unbelievers, right? The inability to be rooted, right? We're seeing them lose all the foundations that they put their trust in, and we're seeing the only thing that's going to outlast that is the belief in how about Yahweh Shai. That's it.
There's a scripture. Psalms 25, 14. But read to the chapter. Just to add on to what you brought out. What's up, brother? Peace, King. I'm back.
Psalm 25, 14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him.
The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, man. The secrets belong unto the righteous. All right? Amos 3 and what, 7? Yep. Go ahead.
The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant.
That's it. Keep going.
Mine eyes are ever toward the Lord, For he shall pluck my feet out of the net.
Hey, the Lord's gonna pluck our feet out of the net, man. Hey, everything about America is a fucking trap, right? And this man is getting ready to come with the ultimate snare, which is gonna be that beast, that chip, man. All right, go ahead.
And that's that Psalm 40, where he speaks about that miry pit, right? That foundation that Yahweh Shai is laying for us to be able to stand and climb up out of.
Yep. Hey, I actually looked it up, the lesson that I did. And back then, they would throw you in this damn, it was literally like a hole in the ground. It was deep. And you couldn't climb your way out of that. You see what I'm saying? And spiritually, we're in that miry pit, or that pit, right? And they said the miry clay in Psalm 40 because you tried to escape out of that pit. You couldn't escape because the clay that was on the wall, so you slip and fall back down. Like quicksand. Yeah. So that's essentially how we are in this spiritual sense. You gotta go.
I made that simple to you last night.
Especially saying that pride, like
Batman movie, and then the bang through Bruce Wayne and that pit.
Yeah.
You know, same thing.
There you
man.
go. Yep.
But the Lord, you know, He gave us the light to be able to see it and how to get out.
That's it. You gotta go. You good? Psalm 25. 14 on down. Any chapter.
Psalm 25 and 14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net.
Yeah, he should pluck my feet out of the net. And our eyes have to remain on Yahweh Shai, man. All right? Hey, just like in the wilderness, all right, with Moses, when he had to hold up the brass serpent, right? And Israel was commanded to look at the serpent, because if they didn't, they would get bit by the snake and get put to death. Same thing now, man. You got to keep your eye on the Lord, man. Don't worry about what's going on. Just stay focused on Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Turn thee unto me, and have mercy upon me,
Yep.
for I am desolate and afflicted.
That's right.
The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Oh, bring thou me out of my distresses.
Hey, the troubles are enlarged. Do you understand what's about to happen? This is why we're warning and pleading with Jake. All right, Esau is ready with the sword. All right, the militarization of the police forces, the federal agencies. Great death is coming. Famines. All right, tariffs, supply chain shortages, man. And you know how many videos are on YouTube of people, Jake and Esau alike, complaining about how they can no longer afford groceries, gas, how they having a hard time making it that right now. It's tons of videos going out, man. Right?
60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. You have functionally unemployed.
Man.
Where Jake is you have people that actually make it an income, but they just get by.
Yep.
So technically, by definition, they would be technically unemployed.
Yeah, they're literally working to pay them. They don't have anything extra to provide for themselves.
Psalm 25 and 18, or verse 17, slide. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Oh, bring thou me out of my distresses.
Right.
Look upon my affliction and my pain, and forgive all my sins.
Right.
Consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred.
Yeah, these Edomites are showing you the cruel hatred that they have for you Jakes, Israelites, man. Right. Ezekiel 35, right?
For example, with Trump, he just said about how he wanted to go and cleanse all these museums that's speaking on slavery.
Yeah.
You know, if I can read that tweet, he said,
Yep.
this dealing with the Smithsonian. It says, Trump announces he will be going after all museums in Washington, D.C. that teach how bad slavery was. This was his tweet. It says the museums throughout Washington, well, all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. We are not going to allow this to happen. And I have instructed my attorney to go to the museum and start the exact same process that has been done with colleges and universities, where tremendous progress has been made. This country cannot be woke because woke is broke. We have the hottest country in the world, and we want people to talk about it, including in our museums. So Trump is essentially declaring war on Jake in all aspects now. So now this man wants to wipe away your history. All right, now these Edomites, all right, are becoming more and more proud about what they've done. This should be even more wake-up call to our people. Let them know that this devil is about to come down with great wrath, like it said in Revelation 20.
Psalm 25 and 19. Consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. Oh, keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee.
Can I get right with this definition of integrity being strict moral code, and uprightness is defined as adherence to strict moral compass or righteousness. See, and these are the very tenets that the elect are exercising in these times, showing forth that fear of the Lord. You know, as we read in Isaiah 33 and 6.
Psalm 25 and 21. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. Redeem Israel, O Most High, out of all this troubles.
So again, the focus has to be and only be is Yahushua, man. He's the only way out of this situation that we get ready to go through, man. There's no other way. This is what we're trying to tell our people, man. Jake is trusting in arms, guns, how they gonna survive on their own will, and whatever master plan the nigga got made up in his mind ain't gonna work. You know? The only solution is the Lord. Right? And those that refuse to continue to put off the Lord, all right, hey, the Lord is going to leave you to be destroyed. You know?
Me and the brother priest, we were discussing this last night. You know, that slogan of the NWO, the WEF, you will own nothing and be happy. We're literally seeing that that's not just an instance that you just wake up one day and you don't own anything. That's a transition that's taking place over time. So that aspect of not being able to own anything, that deprives you of a sense of defense because you don't have access to whatever it is that you have as your own.
Yeah.
That's just being loaned to you. So
Yeah, like an example, just look at how the transition of money went. All right, we went from, you know, cash, which cash at one point was redeemable by gold and silver, and then when they brought in the IRS, the Trent, what's the point?
Federal Reserve.
Yeah, Federal Reserve, flocky. They took the gold, you know, and pretty much gave you IOU notes. That's pretty much what cash is now. All right, it's not backed by that. And then now it has went digital to where you don't see people really with physical money anymore, man. It's just numbers on an app. And so, like the brother was saying, all right, it's going to come a point in time to where everybody's going to wake up and their accounts are going to be drained. It's going to be zero, so you're not going to have any money. But you also see that with your physical assets, man. Like we discussed it. All right, you see how at one point just looking at things like music, entertainment. Why do you think everything is streaming? They don't want you to physically have nothing. And that's going into what we call digital pluralism. You know, so these are all processes that Esau has been doing to strip you little by little of your goods, man.
Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
Right, the borrower is servant unto the lender. So that's like his brothers are speaking about this techno-feudalism that's being established right now before the people, the aspect that you don't own your vehicles. Like they have now, people are leasing used vehicles. When did they start doing that? Right? You're leasing a vehicle that's already been owned, right? People are not able to own the rights to their to the music that they have or the apps, right? Or whatever it is that a lot of people typically they don't really have ownership over their belongings. But what we're trying to connect that with the scripture is that people are subject to the lender, right? This is that feudalist system that's being established, right? Where Esau is going to have leverage over you as the lender. And you will be subject unto him to have access to those things. You want to be able to exist in this system, you're going to have to go to him. This is how that image is being forwarded further, especially as this surveillance state grows stronger, as the image of the beast has a deeper stronghold over the earth.
They own the money and the resources, man. So therefore, they own you.
Yep.
I can make just an example of that. I put in chat dealing with the example I gave of the CDs and all that stuff. So it says the shift from physical ownership, CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, and even downloaded MP3s to purely streaming-based access is very much in line with the broader "you will own nothing" trend. Whether you call it the Great Reset, subscription economy, or digital feudalism, the effect is the same. You no longer own the media you pay for. You're merely renting access under a license that can be revoked, altered, or censored at any time. You know, and this is going to affect all aspects of life. You know.
You get that 21, 25. You get that part of perplexity.
This is Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars.
And we see that that's happening, right? Various planetary alignments, the blood moons, the various signs in the heavens, right? This is all signs that the Lord forewarned of to show his inevitable return.
Yeah, so this is two major blood moons that's about to come in the next month or so. You know? It says, and upon the earth the stress of nations with perplexity, the seas and the and the waves roared.
Right, and we're seeing that the stress in the earth grow more and more, right? As the scriptures speak about in Proverbs 29 and 2, right? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people what? They mourn, right? There's the stress in the earth that's tied directly to the seed of Edom being in the seat of power.
This man is literally about to be rationing out resources, man. People already can't make a living. People are crying out all over the internet, man. You know how many videos bro's done and videos being seen where people are crying? What's the point of even being alive? Right?
We're coming in the movie, like, you seen that movie In Time with Justin Timberlake? That's the type of society that we're coming to, man.
Yep.
So where they literally, their lives were based upon the credits that they were given. Man.
Yeah.
You know, that's how this shit's about to be, man. And Esau, you know, is rationing out carbon. So you're gonna be restricted to how much meat you can eat, how many times you can pop your woman, all right, whatever. You know, they're gonna regulate your life down to the smallest detail. That's how we know this man is the devil, man.
You need salvation.
Right. Good example. Watch that the one Black Mirror episode with the doctor Get Out. You know, it'll show you how they're trying to do things, man. But that word perplexity, I went to the Strong's group, 639. It says to be without resources, to be in straits.
Right, to be without resources. We're seeing the resources being stripped from the people. Right? They're in strait. We're seeing people are in difficult positions trying to make it in this world. Right? The cost of living crisis is continuing to grow. Right? You just had the report come out that the U.S. debt crisis has gotten worse. Right? And that's a direct correlation that impacts the civilians. Right? The economy is becoming stagnant. Right? So it's a lack of bread for people to really get. Right? As far as money. Right? And as far as the access to food and resources, man. Because the supply chain is about to get hit with these tariffs. They just came out with a report that said that, and niggas would post this. Niggas was like, the PlayStation is about to get more expensive. And all niggas' eyebrows went up like, why that's happening? Wait, whoa, what you mean the PlayStation get more expensive? The PlayStation went out. And the PS5 is the exact same one that came out 5 years ago. And now it's about to get more expensive. But all of that ties into the fact that things are about to get more expensive. So your access to getting things is about to tighten.
They got down. You got a body game before. You just download it from the PSN service. They showed you they're doing that. But
restricted or there
everything, bro. So you know, like when they said that, you will own nothing to be happy. They meant that shit, man. Even the clothes, because like what we see now, you have where the type of economy, like you can sell and trade clothes, shoes, stuff like that. They was doing that in Rome, you know. So They said that like you're gonna own 3 outfits
Yeah.
for a year and have to give it back, and they'll give you a new 3 sets. And you're like, deal with that. You know, this is showing you that what we're coming to.
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 5. All right, Sirach 5 and 7. It says, "Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance." Right. So everything we're talking about out here again ties back into the security of the people. You know, when people have security and comfort, they're not worried. All right. Prophecy is not on the mind. All right. They're not concerned with what's going on. But once that security and comfort is removed, then it's a wrap.
For example,
Right?
2020, everybody was perplexed because you were locked in your house. All right, certain states restricted with the restrictions. You really couldn't go out, without the little pass. You go to the store. The stores are rationing out how much a product you can buy, like whether it's toilet paper, food or whatnot.
That was a sign to come.
Yeah, so all that was just a preview of what Esau was about to do.
Yeah. Yeah, people was panic buying,
Yeah.
right? So they're gonna shut that shit down too. You ain't gonna be able to just rack up on fucking toilet paper and paper towels, man.
And also they're telling people to like if you know somebody that's like stocking up, they can snitch on them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
Yeah. It says to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt.
This shit gonna be embarrassing for people, man. How the fuck did I put my trust in this world? Everything that I busted my ass for. All the weird ass rituals that people try to do to try and get a level up in society.
Yeah.
All of that for nothing. You wasted all of your life trying to be something in this world for nothing. Only for everything to crash and burn on you. That's embarrassing.
To not know which way to turn, to be at loss with oneself, to be in doubt.
Right. To be at loss with oneself. Niggas ain't gonna have no self-confidence. Niggas ain't gonna have no reliance. They're not gonna know what to do, where to turn to, right? Because what was their foundation built upon? Sand. It wasn't built upon that rock. It's not gonna be able to withstand those waves crashing on that house.
I got you. This is Matthew chapter 7 and verse 24. It says, "Therefore whosoever hears these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock." That rock being that foundation based on your house side. All right, use that short and tried foundation. Okay. It says, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man.
Right, so all of this adversity that came upon this house, right, is able to stand the test of time. But there's a way in which that house is being built. There's a way how the Lord is structuring that house to be perfectly fitted to stand on that rock, to stand on that sure foundation.
They were like
The house is not built on the Lord, it's built with the band on the
Oh,
foundation.
This is
Like you were saying, bro, that your foundation has to be, on the Lord. Because like you made mention of earlier, the Lord is stripping away all forms of comfort and everything that Jake can try to run to as a defense, where the Lord is making so where you're left with nothing else. And if it's not on your house side, as we're going to see, this is what's going to have people in perplexity, because they're not going to have a sure foundation to lean upon.
Psalm chapter 127, verse 1. Except the Lord Yahweh build the house, they labor in vain that build it.
Right, and that house has to be based upon the true doctrine of the Lord, man. Because as you've been hearing as of late, everybody that's been talking about the end times have all been saying the same sentiment. If you believe in God, you better get your relationship with him right, And to the point to where niggas is saying that you ain't gotta be a Christian, you just believe in God in whatever way. But we're telling you the only surefire way to be covered if you believe in the one true power. Okay, because there's not no many gods out there. He don't have a bunch of names. You know, it's one way. Like it says in John 10 chapter, man. Okay? And that way is through Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Rakha Josh, man. The Holy Spirit. Because you can call upon the name, but if you don't have the faith, if the Spirit ain't working with you, then hey, you're just a parent. And the Lord is going to expose you.
Yep. Psalms 127 and 1 in the latter, it says, except Yahweh keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain.
Yeah, and that's all these different false Israelite camps that are coming in a false spirit. Okay? Your watchmen aren't warning you of the great destruction that's coming. Like we always talk about.
Software download. It's a re-update.
All right. So like we're saying, so why are these other camps not speaking about the things that's happening in history right now? Right? I mean, in history, in current events.
Right. What are they watching?
They're watching bullshit.
Exactly. Like, you got, like, imagine being in an actual war, and you're on a vantage point. How can you help but not to look in that direction and see that that's something that's coming this direction and to report on that?
Niggas playing games, man.
Niggas is twiddling their thumb, looking up at the sky and shit. Nigga counting the fucking the little stones in the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doing a bunch of dumb shit. Like, what the fuck is you doing up there? Why were you giving that vantage point if you ain't gonna do anything?
Watching in vain, man.
Exactly.
So Isaiah 56.
I'm gonna try to get it read down with your brothers got it. That shit crazy.
His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Right? So that, like brothers are going into a watchman who's not reporting on what he's seeing, or even worse, putting his head in the sand on what's taking place, right, in prophecy, is like a dumb dog, man. Right?
Yeah. You niggas is like Chico off of next Friday, man. You know, hey, all I gotta do is throw you some meat, and niggas is with it. You know, that meat, it can come in any form, man. All right, and whether it's the little bag, all right, some clout on YouTube, you know, whatever life that you live in, you know, Satan got many ways to distract you. And these guys are focused on that. They're not watching for the true danger that's coming. That's why when this shit hit, like you said, Jake is sitting there like dealing with the PlayStation reference you use. Like, damn, why is that happening? So when they see fucking the city getting locked down, just damn, why is that happening?
Yeah,
why tanks in the street? Why is it that we can no longer upload videos on YouTube or anything like that?
I gotta put a zip in my body. Why did I do that?
Right.
It's silly shit, man. But see, this is the importance. Again, going back to that house being built perfectly on that sure foundation. There's a way that it's being built in this time of grace. That's great. The Lord is allowing things to be built up a certain way right now. All right, and if you're not taking heed to it, your foundation ain't gonna be sure.
That's what I say. Back in Matthew 7:25, it says, and the rain, 26, and every one that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand, and the rain descended, and the floods came. That's going into the persecution and the judgment. And the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it.
Great is gonna be that fall, man. You see? Because at that time, you're gonna realize that all of the ways as to how to properly build your house was afforded to you, man. Right? When all this adversity comes upon our people. Because again, going back to the top of the sermon, it's not like you have any cluelessness as to the evils in the earth. Everyone can see that shit is getting harder. Things are getting more rough. Unless you just got your head totally in the sand.
I mean, that's really what it is, because a lot of Jake are in that sentiment of, well, it's not happening to me.
Right.
So it must not be happening to them. And that's really the mindset of these people, man.
Right.
That's why Americans are looked at as the stupidest people in the world, because what you see worldwide happening hasn't impacted here yet. That's why when they were talking about these tariffs coming to pass, everybody was all, scared, because they was like, yo, well, shit is about to get higher. My life is about to change. It's about to get rough out here. But everything that Trump has been doing you haven't really saw the full effects of these things taking place yet. So when the warnings are going out, everybody's looking at it like, I hear you, but I'm not really seeing it for myself, so why should I care? You know? But the people that's making these videos, like the other was talking about earlier, that's on there crying out, they're crying out because they feel it. So it's gonna come a point to where all of us are gonna feel it. Man. Some of us do feel it, you know, now, others not as much, but it's still happening, little by little, man. Brothers' bills are increasing. All right, you know, and policies are making shit shoot up. All right, in certain regions of America where those are at, you know, it's different. But nonetheless, there is a change policies still happening though, man.
So 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18 in the Good News translation, it reads, troubles will come and many people will groan.
Is it
Famine will come and many will die. Wars will come and the world powers will tremble.
Right, and this is exactly what we're seeing happen right now. Right? Famine is about to hit the land. Right? Terrors and evils are continually increasing in the land. Right? And these people are going to look to their powers, but that ain't going to be their strength. The scripture tell you in Isaiah 30 that the strength of Pharaoh is to sit still. Right? These people ain't going to be there to help you. They're going to have their own concerns. Right? It's going to be a dog-eat-dog world.
2 Ezra chapter 16 verse 18, the Good News translation, it reads, disasters will come and everyone will be terrified.
Disasters are coming. It's not a matter of if, but when they do come. And we're seeing that gradually is being set up for these things to take place. Right? You read it?
What will people do when these disasters come?
What are you going to do? Right? When all of these evils start coming to pass, what's your plan of action? Are you confident in the ways in which you're going to prepare for the days of evil? Because in reality, the answer for these people is they don't have a solution. They don't have an answer. So that question is really rhetorical. You're not going to do anything because you never made consideration of the days to come. You thought that everything was hunky-dory. You thought that the days of evil would never touch you. Right? You took on that spirit of Babylon, right? I think it's Isaiah 47, right? I shall sit a queen, right? Thinking that you're not going to see any evil, right? But that's the exact thing that the Lord is preparing to bring on you.
It says that in that same chapter, God is not considered not letting things happen.
I gotta free space so I can update my phone to the new program so it won't be fucking up.
That's why what we see in this current generation, that's how we know this has to be the last generation. This is the most forward generation that we've seen, man. The most separated from holiness, and the most deliberately disobedient to Yahweh Shah. So back in 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 19, the Good News translation. Famine, epidemics, troubles, and suffering. Troubles will come. Verse 18. Troubles will come, and many people will groan. Famine will come, and many will die. Wars will come, and the world powers will tremble. Disasters will come, and everyone will be terrified. And what will people do when these disasters come?
Right? What will people do when these disasters come? Right? You get that from
Isaiah 41 and 21. Produce your cause, saith the Lord.
Right. Produce your cause. When you hear everything that the brother just brought out in 2 Ezra 16, where does your mind go? Where is your thought process as to how to navigate through war? What's your answer? Niggas see all the shit going on over in the Middle East, right, and you don't understand the correlation of how the nation you live in is a big player in several foreign war regions. What do you think is going to happen?
All the major conflicts in the world right now, America had their has their problems.
Right.
Situation with China and Taiwan, Russia and Ukraine, they're involved. Gaza and Israel, they're involved. So what's that telling you? You know, hey, eventually, if you have common sense and you can piece the pieces together, something over here is bound to happen.
Right.
You know? And the Bible tells you what those things are. All right? Financial collapse. All right? This place being invaded. Okay? The impending destruction that's going to befall this country via World War III. Because the shit that Israel is doing in the world, man, that's going to backfire on America. You know? So don't be fooled by you see Zelensky was over here with Trump. All right? Trump meeting with Putin.
Right.
That's all bullshit, man. It's a thing called the theater of war, man. All right? All these guys are in cahoots together. You know? They make these things for the public to see and be influenced by, but you know at the end of the day, they're all in bed together.
You know.
It says, produce your cause, saith the Lord. Bring forth your strong reactions, saith the King of Jacob. Strong reasons, saith the King of Jacob. Let them bring them forth and show us what shall happen. Let them show the former things what they be, that we may consider them and know the latter end of them, or declare us things for to come.
Right, so give us understanding of the things that happened in the past and give us understanding of the things to come. Right? Show us the way.
Right, that's why we constantly get on these stupid ass Christians, you people, these other doctrines and religions, because what is your answer for the end times that we constantly speak about, man?
I've had conversations with several people that claim to believe in the Bible. And when you talk to them about end time prophecy and say, do you think we're in the end of the world? They will literally tell you no. They'll be like, no, we're not in the end times.
They don't have a biblical worldview, man. That's all what that is about. Because what
Is this the man that made the earth tremble?
Come on, man.
what the fuck, bro? But like I was saying, the problem with the world is the people lack a biblical worldview. Because due to the Christian church, the Catholic church, and all these different denominations that have put their hands on the Bible, nobody goes into biblical prophecy the way that it should be talked about, because you don't have an answer. That's why you talk to people about this type of stuff, it's either going to be one of two answers. Either they don't know, they're informed, but they're in the mind frame of, well, what the hell can I do about it? I'm going to just, live my life. And some people, they condemn themselves. Some people, they have that false sense of security that think that they're going to be raptured up, they're going to make it to heaven anyway. But nobody has a clear distinction of why these things are happening or what is even going to happen, right? You know? Keep going.
Verse 24.
Show the things that are to come hereafter, that we may know that ye are gods, yea, do good or do evil, that we may be dismayed and behold it together.
Right. So at the end of the day, if you're so caught up in the gods of this world, right, that you're neglectful of the God of Israel, you Israelites, show us. I mean, everything that we see happening in the world, there has to be an answer. Surely your God is providing you with insight as to what's happening, showing you that they're the powers that's making all of these things happen.
Yeah, because we're looking at y'all like how Elijah looked at, the prophecy of Baal, man. Laughing at y'all because look, if your God is real, then why can't he show you the things that we're talking about, man? Because when it comes down for you people to produce your cause and give your answer, because if we're wrong, all right, well, show us what we're wrong at. Correct us. We've been waiting on that challenge for years, but you can't because y'all don't fucking know nothing, man.
Right.
The Lord ain't dealing with y'all, and that God that you claim to believe in, he ain't real.
Right. Niggas with John 3:16 you to death. Not even understanding the context of what they're reading.
Nope.
That's why when we read earlier about the word in Habakkuk chapter 2, right? That word being plainly written on tables, roughly paraphrasing, it's being delineated to a particular group of people on earth. That new song is being provided to a particular group of people. And it's being provided, it's being sung. And we're seeing that song is actually playing out. But for the rest of these other denominations, it ain't happening. Right?
You try to
You might go back.
Go back out and go back there. I think you did that.
No, not that one. Not that one.
Continuing on though, it says, "Behold, ye are of nothing, and your work of naught. An abomination is he that chooseth you."
Right, they're an abomination to be chosen to believe in that garbage, man. Right? Because at the end of the day, these gods, these idols, are not really providing you with anything. You see? So to even be of that opinion, to think that, oh, this piece of wood is what's going to lead to my salvation, or this idol in Brazil, that big ass statue of Caesar Borgia, that's going to be my answer. Or me making a commute to wherever the fuck it is for that Mecca, the Cabal stone, right? Thinking that the cobblestone, thinking that that's going to be a means for you to be able to get into heaven. You niggas is foolish, man. That's why niggas die when they be walking over there. That's why that statue over in Brazil gets struck by lightning all the time.
Every year.
You see?
This is why, as many Christians that call upon Jesus, man, your life still sucks.
Right.
Your God ain't real, man.
Right. And moreover, like you said, these Christians, the Lord is bringing down that stronghold, man. To where it's like, no. You're not going to be able to just lean upon these rhetorics that you stood on for so long. No. Now is the time when you stand upon truth. Produce your cause. Don't just blindly say that you believe in a higher power. No. Show us.
They've been allowed for millennia to just move without any proof of anything.
Right. Jump to 60. Like, damn, nigga. That's it. LaDainian Thomas said, jump to 60. Just stiff arm. You see, but now it's no. We have this truth is like the 2010 Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Nah, when they had it was Troy Polamalu, what's that nigga name? Brian Clark, and what's my nigga name? Number 92, James Harrison. Them niggas was just OD. They was just bodying niggas left and right. That's what we doing in the spirit. We just taking down these strongholds, throwing them down to the ground. You see?
It's like Samson took that tree, uprooted it, and just took it on his shoulder and walked off with it. That's what we're doing in the spirit.
That's the thing. This is the times that we're in. So it's like, all right, all of these causes that you're trying to stand on, but it has no validity. Are you going to continue to stand and have a sense of reliance in these ways that's being exposed by the Spirit of the Lord? Oh, no, that's it. We go back to the
2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 19 in the Good News translation. Famine, epidemics, troubles, and suffering are sent to punish and correct people.
Right. It's a reason why these things are happening. To punish and correct the people. Especially you tribes. All of these evils that are coming upon the earth. You should be adhering to the will of the Lord and repent. Get with the program. There's a way out for you.
Right.
The rest of the world, they don't got that. These other 17 nations, they don't have a way out.
Right.
They're about to just face the judgment because the curses is being turned over to them. Can you read it?
But in spite of all this, they will not turn away from their sins.
Right. Despite all of these things that's happening in the earth, we understand that 2/3 of our nation ain't going to do it. They're not going to turn away. They're going to continue to be stiff-necked until death. Can you read it?
But despite all this, but in spite of all this, they will not turn away from their sins. They soon forget their punishment. The time is coming when food will be so cheap that people will think a time of peace and plenty has arrived.
Right, and the Spirit has been on Trump to pretty much push out that vibration of he is the president of peace. You know, especially ever since this meeting that he had with Putin, right? He's trying to push out this vibration of peace, right? That basically these tariffs are bringing back dollars to America, that these tariffs aren't going to impact their cost of living, right? But that's the exact opposite of what's about to happen.
Yeah, that's him trying to, quote, heal America.
Right.
You know, they're trying to revive this new Rome. To say that surely his pride had deceived him, man. All right, because really, hey, Trump is the law, man. Trump is the guy that's gonna bring this shit down. You know, but his campaign runs is what that you believe in him, right? He got those moggers to side with him. But now you start to see a lot of these moggers, you know, Republicans so-called, you know, they're turning their backs, you know. So this civil war is going to go down, man. Especially with this ICE situation. You got Esau that's with it, you got some Edomites that's not with it. So all of that's causing that divide, right? How should this kingdom stand if it's divided, you know?
Chapter 16 and verse 21 in the Good News Translation. The time is coming when food will be so cheap that people will think a time of peace and plenty has arrived. But then disasters will spring up everywhere.
Disasters are going to spring up everywhere. Every facet of your life in this system, there's disasters that's arising.
Yeah.
Uprooting the little bit of peace that you claim to obtain with this president that's sitting, right? Because that devil, his horns is growing, man. The Lord has a spirit on this administration to just exacerbate Esau's horns and just go all in. Yeah. that nigga shit is just growing. And every time they grow, he just gets stronger. He get more connected to who he really is.
Goes deep. That's why he's trying to get rid of the slavery sites at those museums. You know? That's all tied into that critical race
to mom right now.
Right. That goes back to his power. You know, when you read in the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter.
Yep.
So like not the 18th chapter, the 20th chapter. And it speaks about how he was loosened for a little season to deceive the nation.
Yeah.
That aspect of deception is a major stronghold that Esau was able to utilize to fortify his hegemony.
Yeah.
So him trying to force that deception back on the people, that's really a part of him trying to reestablish his strength, but it's too far gone. Truth is being declared. Deceit is being quenched. As it tells us in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter.
Yep.
If I could read this article, just touch on this article. This is off of Newsweek. It reads, Trump names 5 cities as he says National Guard deployment will go further. Right? So what we're seeing take place over there in D.C. is about to spread cross country, man. Right? He made mention of, Oakland, L.A., Chicago, I believe Baltimore, right? All these places, and that's just to name a few, man.
And what's the common denominator with all those places? That's where Jake has relocated.
Yep. Right.
Going back to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 21. And the time is coming when food will be so cheap that people will think a time of peace and plenty has arrived. But then disasters will spring up everywhere. Wars, famine, and great confusion.
Great confusion. You see? And that's going to lead to people not knowing what the fuck to do. That's going to lead to people going out and evils increasing more. Panicking. Because these people are going to be frantic. They're not going to know what's going on. When they can't go to the grocery store, when they can't go to the gas station, when they can't go get their drugs, when they can't go get their alcohol, right? People are going to tweak out.
Yeah, crashing out is like the new thing now.
Yeah.
You know, that term has been embodied, man.
Right.
You know?
And like you said, Zaquan, it's the new thing. And people don't even really bat an eye to it because they be like, shit, shit hard out here. You know? Niggas ain't got no money. Niggas be like, can you blame me really?
Yeah.
They know that crashing out is going to be a viral, so they need to do that to try to, get 15 minutes of fame.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Verse 22. Many people on earth will starve to death.
Yep.
And those who escape starvation will be killed in war.
That's what we see that's about to take place.
Draft is coming.
Right? The draft is coming, right? Civil war is coming. Race war is being brewed up, right? So it's just war on all levels that these people are just going to get taken by. The famine don't get you, the war is gonna get you. The sword is gonna get you. Right? As the scripture says, touches the death unto death, sword unto the sword, famine to famine. Right? The Lord is about to put these people in total perils, in which he said before in the verse above, disasters is going to be on every side. You're not going to be able to escape this. The only way how you can have a sense of protection is through Yahweh Bashim Shai. And we're going to continue to push out that vibration because these people have no sense of hope in anything. The little...
No, that's what's going to contribute to the great death, right? Great death is going to happen because it's not going to be any way to escape. So it's going to be bodies on top of bodies, man. Right? You're going to see that damn, like we always see running through the cities, that big ass bus that collects the bodies. Yeah, street sweepers, mass casualties, you know?
Shit, you gonna see them robots cleaning them bodies up.
You know?
Verse 23. That's not verse 22. Many people on earth will starve to death, and those who escape starvation will be killed in war. Their corpses will be thrown out like garbage, and there will be no one left to comfort the living.
Yep. Ain't gonna be no funerals. Ain't gonna be no wakes. You know?
There's not going to be any
No morgues.
exactly, no sense of comfort at this time.
Continuing on. There will be no one left to comfort the living. The earth will be deserted and its cities demolished.
Right, the cities will be demolished, man. Right. There's gonna be total anarchy. And this is again, you can't avoid the prophecy of the Lord that's taking place. People will hear it, but will they actually make actionable processes to go ahead and change their life so that they can be under the cover?
Overwhelming majority is no.
Exactly.
These people don't care. That's really what it comes down to. They don't care. They don't believe. So the Lord's not control.
And then at that point, it's too late. It's just action.
Verse 20.
Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified through the Holy Spirit. We're going to close giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. And double honors be unto the apostles and the elders, great most of the taught us to do well. These blessings and mercies thou also gave me, Habayah, Kamadana, Mufalek, Shalom,
Hey, Shalom. Yeah, I